Hope everybody's doing good. Getting ready. Holidays. They're here. Next week is Thanksgiving. Crazy. Unbelievable how fast time is moving and flying. Just seems like a couple weeks ago we were out. And is anybody else confused or thinks that, I don't know, the retail world has a little confusion issue on their hands? A couple weeks back, it seems like you could go in the store and see Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations already out. I feel sorry for Thanksgiving. It seems to always get overlooked, but we're here. We're here in the holiday season, and Pastor Tony asked me to share midweek this week, and I asked him, was there something specific that he wanted us to talk about? And he said, no, whatever's on your heart. And really that was the answer I was looking for, because I just want to share a little bit this evening with where I have kind of been and recently in my walk with the Lord, and just hope how the Lord encouraged me can speak in and encourage you today with this. So a couple scriptures. Let's start. Let's start here. Isaiah. I love the book of Isaiah. There's so many scriptures. I've shared this years ago. I used to quote this one all the time. Not what I'm getting ready to read, but Isaiah 46:5. In the Message Bible, it says it this way: "To whom will you compare me? Can you picture me without reducing me?" Man, that verse to me spoke on the bigness of our God. So many times we look at situations that we're in, and we try to reduce God down to fit that situation, that problem, when the whole time we should be showing our problem how big our God is. And I think the enemy attacks us the way that he does because our maybe at times our lack of faith. And so that's kind of where we're talking today, specifically in the area of being willing, being obedient, being faithful to trust God in the good days and the bad days. So here is the Isaiah that I do want to read. Isaiah 1:19. It says, "If you're willing and obedient, you will eat the good things of the land." If you're willing and obedient. That means we have to be willing to hear we have to be willing to hear the Lord speak to us and receive that. But more importantly, it's a process. It's a two-step process that leads to the third, and that's that scripture right there. We have to be willing to listen to hear the Lord speaking to us, but then we have to be obedient and walk out what it is that He is sharing with us to do. And a lot of times that's where this faith walk can get really, 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 really hard. So Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. I've said this for years, and I've heard Pastor talk about tattoo scriptures that are tattooed upon our heart to where they're inked on us, and they're just part of our daily walk. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 is one of those for me. And what does that say? To trust in the Lord with all your heart, right? Lean not into your own understanding. I think at times when we see, I've got a cup of coffee here. I've good old faithful. Let's go Bearcats. I'm a Cincinnati Bearcat basketball fan. We tend, I've heard it said this way: if you want to know about somebody, look in their mug closet, look in their mug cupboard, and see what is printed on their coffee mugs that they spend their time with. And Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 it's that tattoo scripture. It's also, I like to call it this way: it's that coffee mug scripture. We like to start our day every day sipping our coffee out of a mug that may say Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, right? To trust in the Lord with all of our heart and not to lean into our own understanding. In all of our ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct our paths. But, that's a good coffee mug. That's also a good T-shirt scripture. We can put that thing, my music school, my dad's music school, the Lawrenceville School of Music, in branding and marketing, you put things on specific things like apparel, coffee mugs, this and that. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 makes a great T-shirt scripture to put on a T-shirt, but here lies the test. Makes it hard to put on our chest. It makes us hard to wear that. It's easy to print the T-shirt, but sometimes it's harder to wear the T-shirt. Things just come against us. Up and downs, ups and downs, hills and valleys, and what we have to do is we have to, Isaiah 119, be willing to hear God tell us, and we have to be obedient to walk it out through the process. I recently heard a quote that, it spoke to me. It didn't come on that coffee mug or that T-shirt. Didn't come out at any time of prayer or devotion or meditation with God. It came out of a documentary that I was watching. You see my background. I'm in my recording studio. Music's been the first call in my life. I grew up in a very musical home. My father had a doctorate degree in music, but it was a ministry home as well. And I love, as I grow and develop within my music, I teach. I have 40 students a week here in the Atlanta area. I've got about 6 virtual students that I work with out of state. And then our music school, that's something we do year round. I love teaching. I love music. I love sharing that. Ephesians 4 says some are called to be apostles and prophets, evangelists. Teachers is on that list, and that's been a mantle on the Novell family. So I love teaching, but I also love those moments when I'm preparing something to teach, and God says, you know what, Rob, how about you try this on yourself? So I was watching, kind of not in an expected place, but I was watching a documentary on Hulu, of all places, and right at the end of this documentary, there was something that was said that, God just used it to encourage me and speak into me. And it was trusting the process and going through the process while measuring the progress. There's things we don't understand. There's things we don't get. But if we can, through that, if we can trust in the Lord, if we can rely on Him, if we can be obedient, if we're willing and obedient, Isaiah 119, to hear Him speak to us and then to walk it out. Things may not make sense in the moment, but we can measure the growth. We can see the progress through the process. So it's measuring the progress while going through the process. So I recently I've had to put this T-shirt on and wear this. A little, again, harder to have it on our chest than it is to print it onto the T-shirt. Wearing it is harder than printing it. came out of a situation back in the summer where it was a little bit of that deja vu moment. I found myself in the same place at the same time 2 years in a row. And it was in that area where, you know what, I had to seek the Lord for some answers and measure the progress while going through the process. And so I came back in July. I came home from this event that I was at, and I knew there was a situation that to Rob it seemed insurmountable. It seemed like I wasn't going to be able to on my own figure out the way out and figure this out. So what did I do? I do what I knew to do. I did what my parents raised me to do, and that was to seek the Lord. And I entered a time of prayer and fasting. You know what? Here on the backside of the holidays, we've got prayer and fasting coming up at Hope and Life, the first of the year. Man, if you truly want to seek the Lord, then humble yourself. Get on your face, get before Him, push things back, get things out of the way, remove distractions that might be standing in the way of you truly being able to hear God speak to you. I know through the years in ministry, so many times people have said, Rob, how can I hear God speaking to me? And man, my default answer is, you know what, y'all, and I don't know if we can say this. I'm turning this in advance. They can edit this out if I'm saying the wrong thing. But man, so many times I've had to look at people, including myself, and say, you know what? How do we hear from God? Well, we shut up long enough to hear Him speak to us, because we tend so many times to tell Him how the situation should go, how through the process, how He should respond to meet our needs. And y'all, that's just not being willing and obedient. Willing means we hear from Him. Obedient, good times and bad times, we walk out what He tells us to do. So I came home from this situation and entered a time of prayer and fasting. I'm like, you know what, God, I need you to fix this. It's beyond Rob. So, you know, I looked at him and said, not my problem, God. This is on your desk. This is in your area. I need you to be who you are and show up on your timing, not Rob's timing. I'm going to be willing to walk this out. I'm going to keep measuring the progress through this process. So I did. I entered a time of prayer and fasting, and long story short, very, very long story short, it was a situation where a ministry that I do, a business that I run, we were facing a relocation. I needed to find a new place, and so it's our summer music camp. We hold it at a university, Murray State University. We had just in July celebrated our 50th year anniversary being on that campus for our. We run a school of Christian music every summer. We're helping singers, songwriters, musicians move to that next level and to walk out what it is that God is speaking to them through Isaiah 119. So we needed a new location, and I quickly began to look 17 places. We physically, Jen and I, my wife Jen, we toured 7 of these, and in a short amount of time, we needed God to answer. And long story short, again, He did. Not only did we find a location, but out of those 17, one of those in particular is a Christian university in Tennessee, and they literally pursued us as I was trying to find a place. They began to work hard to get our business. They knew who we were. They knew the history of what we do, and they wanted us on their campus. They felt we were a good fit for them. So was willing to set some things aside. Why? So I could hear God speak to me. And as He began to talk, He literally began to tell me the 17 places to look at, and we did that. And through the process, it was about a month, 3-week period that was hard. And for a while, we were homeless. For our CNS, our Charlestonville School of Music, we were homeless. But through the process, you all, so many new doors began to open, and just as exciting, where we sit here, November of 2024, we are so far ahead of this time of year, and I do believe the rest of that 119, if you're willing and obedient, you'll eat from the best of the land. That just simply means this, you all. The best of the land for Rob doesn't mean that I drive a Maserati or live in a 6,500 square foot home. The best of the land means, you know what? I have a home. No one is knocking on the door and saying, hey, we're here to take your home because you've faulted on your payments. We have multiple cars in the driveway. They're not Maseratis, you all. However, no tow truck is backing in to my driveway to haul a car off because I'm faulty on payments there. The best of the land just means success, you all. If we're willing and obedient, willing to hear God speak to us, and then obedient to walk that out, success, you all. We'll eat from the best of the land. I want to let me look this up while I'm sharing this with you, because I want to wrap up with something. This same area, I don't know, 12 years or so ago, Pastor Tony approached me with an idea of something that he wanted Hope and Life to get involved with, and you all, I did not. I'll be completely honest. When he brought it to me, I did not see the vision. I did not latch on. I did not immediately agree with him. And he began to share this idea with me, a thing called Buy a Tree, Change a Life. The previous year, a church in Homestead, Florida, sold Christmas trees on South Beach to raise money to help a family within their church adopt a child. They were wanting to adopt a child. There was a fee out there, a budget, a goal that they had to get to. And the church, someone in the church said, you know what, a couple years ago we sold trees on South Beach. We raised a ton of money in a short amount of time. So they brought this idea to the table and they pursued it and they went after this. And it was a successful year. They were willing to hear God speak to them. They were obedient to walk it out. They were successful. So they reached out to, the pastor of that church reached out to two other churches that second year through relationships that he had in his life with other pastors. And Pastor Tony was the first call that went out. And what they wanted us to do was they wanted us to come beside them and be a second site to be part of this Buy a Tree, Change a Life. And what God had done over that year was he birthed a new ministry through their obedience that prior year. And so now multiple churches were going to come together and sell Christmas trees. None of the proceeds would stay at the local church. All of the proceeds would go to bless kids both globally and locally in the community. And so pastor's telling me this. I'm like, Christmas trees? Lies? We're selling what? So didn't get it. But I listened to him, and then we had to walk this thing out. We were willing to hear, but then we had to be obedient to walk it out. And y'all, Gwinnett County is red tape central. I honestly left that initial meeting with Pastor going, we're not going to be selling Christmas trees because there's no way. We had 7 days, seven days to get everything done with the county and get the trees ordered to get them in. And man, everything just fell into place. Where the county is normally, Gwinnett County is red tape central, where things are usually tough. Everything fell into place. So we had those trees show up on the church property. If you've been with us for any amount of time, about 12 years ago, we began selling live Christmas trees. And we have continued that ministry. Over $10 million has been raised in 12 years to bless kids both globally and locally. We support kids in Cambodia, also in Bethlehem. We built a building through the proceeds in Cambodia that through the week serves as a schoolhouse. On the weekends, it's a church. We're able to bless these people through what? Selling of Christmas trees. All right. So we continue in that. Now, we've not had a physical property over the last several years, but the year after we jumped in, a church up in Beaufort decided to come on board, the neighborhood church. And so over the last 4 years, we have teamed with them. Our trees go to their lot, and we help them join in together with them and do these trees. So Christmas season is here. You all, this Saturday, November 23rd, our trees come in. The trees go on sale on Saturday, November the 23rd. They're going to be available until the trees sell out. We're going to have about 500 live Christmas trees there, small to tall, y'all, 3 foot all the way up to 12 foot. So if you need a Christmas tree, which you do, it's Christmas time, all right? Here's the cool thing. All the proceeds, again, go to bless kids both globally and locally. So you need a tree this season, all right? Now, the cool thing is that tree, if you buy it through buy a tree, change a life, that tree is going to have a story. Every time you look at that Christmas tree this season, you're going to know every dime that you put into purchasing that tree is going to bless kids both globally and locally. You can go to Home Depot, you can go to Walmart, you can go to your local nursery in your town and buy a live tree. That tree does not have a story. You don't know where your money is going there. If you purchase your tree through Buy a Tree, Change a Life, you're buying a tree and you're changing a life. You're being Isaiah 119. You're being willing to hear the Lord speak to you. You're being obedient to walk it out. And what? Success. The third thing, you all, success. So we, again, have teamed up with Neighborhood Church. Here is the address for the Neighborhood Church, and maybe they can drop it down here in the comments as the service is playing. Our trees are being sold at Neighborhood Church, which is at 2026 Brazelton Highway, Buford, Georgia, 30519. 2026 Brazelton Highway, Buford, Georgia, 30519. Show up, get your tree. Don't wait, you all. These trees sell out in about 10 days. We go through these things very, very quickly. So trees come in on Saturday. They're available for purchase on Saturday. You can also, if you have a servant's heart and you want to plug in, we need volunteers during this event. You can sign up at the information center there at the theater on Sunday. I will reach out to you and we'll figure out a time that you can come out and serve and help us on the tree lot sell these trees. Buy a Tree, Change a Life. They go on sale Saturday until they sell out. It won't be long. So you need a tree, you need a story, you need to help us support these kids both globally and locally. You need to walk Isaiah 119 out in your life. You need to be willing to hear the Lord speak to you. You've got to be obedient to walk it out, and then you're going to eat from the best of the land. That's how we strengthen our faith. That's how we walk out. We measure the progress while going through the process. Y'all be blessed.